Hey, what's going on? What's going on, guys? Appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, this is your local realtor here, Ronnie, and the mortgage dad right there, Ronnie. It's here just to keep you guys informed, keep you guys
What's going on,
updated,
guys?
talking about real estate and things that's relevant for you guys to know. And speaking of things for you guys to know, is we're first quarter off just come to an end. We're in the month of May. We actually found an interesting article that kind of talks about the reality of things in the world of investors. Even though rates have been, what would you say rates have been the first quarter of the year, Ronnie? Like the high sevens, mid sevens?
Yeah, you're in that mid sevens ish, high sevens. Yeah.
Yeah. And with that being said, most people are, average person who's trying to first time home buyer or someone trying to buy a home, they're saying, oh, rates are too high. We're going to kind of wait and see where they go. But the reality for investors is basically says about 20% of homes that were sold in the first quarter of the year were sold to investors, so that's a pretty high number because that's an indication of letting you know that when it comes to investing in real estate, regardless of where rates are, it's more so about the asset itself, meaning the property. Are you able to cash flow, and B is an opportunity for you to flip the home. So I say this to say, prime example, in the state of Florida specifically, they were talking about how in Miami, almost 30%, or in this case, almost 31% of homes that are sold in Miami during the first quarter of this year were sold to investors. That is a big percentage. Considering rates were like in the mid sevens during that time frame. So that's an indication that hey, at the end of the day, if they see a good opportunity, in this case, an investor to get a good return on their money, depending on what they're trying to do, whether it's buy and hold, flip. They don't really concern themselves too much on where the rates are. It's more so, hey, can I get a good return on this particular investment? Um, Another city that kind of topped the list as far as investors buying
Yeah,
at
and
a
to piggyback off that,
no, go ahead,
yeah,
go
and
ahead.
to piggyback off that, it's investors. I've been reading some articles that there's a shortage of single family homes. So I'm kind of curious, out of those percentage, what are single family homes or condos? And as much as rates are going up, so are rents. So to the
Mm.
investor, it's all an equation.
Yeah, well, it is an equation. It's not so much emotional ties when it comes to purchasing a property, unlike the first time home buyer, or if someone's buying a second home. It's an emotional decision. This is a big investment for you. In the case of an investor, it's more so like Ronnie just said about just about the numbers. And speaking of the numbers, another city that kind of made the list in Florida as far as homes being sold at a premium, but a good chunk of those homes being purchased by investors with Jacksonville, Florida. Was 25% of homes were purchased by investors during the first quarter of this year. So, you know, these basic investors aren't staying on the sideline when it comes to finding the deal that makes sense to them. While a lot of people who aren't investors who are first time home buyers, they're just more so kind of weighing their options as far as saying, hey, does it make sense for me to pay at this rate, or I'm going to wait for the rates to drop, or maybe I'm just not in a position to buy a home today because life isn't telling me that I need to buy a home right now. While in the case of an investor, it's all about them trying to get a good return on their money. They're not waiting for life to tell them when to buy or sell. Is more so, hey, can I make a good return on the cash I have on the sidelines? So I was kind of surprised when I saw the high percentage of homes being sold by investors during the first quarter of this year. Yeah, this is
And
a
that kind of correlates with I've heard about a third of uh, purchases of a home are been paid in cash. So
mm,
that's like the highest number in the longest time that home transactions, a third of them are paying cash. They're not, there's no mortgage involved.
yeah. That's a good amount of money, man. There's no mortgage. This. I'll tell people, there's people, and it's I tell my clients, friends, people I just know, like, hey, there's people that have some money, they got some coins in the bank, and and as they say, the rich, I always say, the rich are for a reason. They don't just keep the coins there in the bank. They find a way to make more coins, and bless them if they can do that. That's what I'm working on too.
Yeah.
And bless them if they can do that. So, but yeah, this was a pretty interesting article where it basically talks about the fact that there's some people on the sideline. There's others who aren't on the sideline that don't really make decisions based off of rates. They make decisions based off of the deal itself. In this case, and this is what investors do. Whether rates are at 3% or high sevens. If the deal makes sense, there's no need for them just to kind of wait for the rates to dictate whether to pull that trigger to go ahead and purchase the properties in the case of investing purposes. So with that being said, I'm just kind of curious on your end, Ronnie. Have you ran into any investors buying, seeking lending for investing purposes? I'm trying to see if any of these they played a percentage in what we've been seeing so far the first quarter of this year.
No, my guess is that a good percentage of those are cash buyers. I haven't had too many, investors, coming in, since the higher rates. Sometimes that it's an equation. So sometimes that kind of kills the deal if depending on the size of the mortgage they want and the cash flow or whatever of the property. So it's it's been a handful, but I wouldn't say it's an uptick. It's just I think the uptick is people seeing in the future rates will come down 6 months, a year, whatever it is, home values are going to go up, and they're kind of making their moves now.
It's funny, and on my end, what I've been seeing as far as investors, these are investors that did buy a home cash with the intentions of flipping it, and since rates were higher than what they expected, they're not able to basically sell their home in a reasonable time frame. So what they're doing, they're refinancing, taking their money out, and just basically, hey, I'm just going to hold on to this and rent it out. That's one thing I'm seeing, where they're saying, hey, we're just going to take the cash that we put in to buy the property, take it out, put a mortgage on it, and just rent it out. Because right now, we can't find a buyer at the price that we're looking at because of where rates are. So.
Yeah.
Great. So, as always, guys, at the end of the day, the biggest takeaway from this is, hey, if you're an investor, obviously, rates don't really concern you. If you're a potential home buyer, rates do have an impact on whether you can purchase in today's market, but it's more so where you're at in your life journey and when it comes to your real estate journey. So, this is kind of good information to know on you guys' end and also on our end. So. As always, we appreciate you guys' time, and we're here just to inform and not influence you guys. Appreciate you guys as always.
All right. Take care, everybody.
All right.